Hello and welcome to Writer's Block. I'm Dylan.
I'm Joel.
I'm Sean.
And hey, sorry for the big, just huge hiatus. My bad. Literally my bad.
You don't blame it on him. I'm blaming it on him right now.
We'll put it all on him.
It's honestly my fault, though. Alright, guys. And, so... if you haven't seen this before and this is your first time watching Writer's Block, this is a podcast where we basically talk about anything. There is no we don't talk about film, we don't talk about video games, we don't talk about comic books. We talk about anything that really interests us at the time. And I guess we'll start with me first. And what I want to talk about is the new Captain America.
All right.
I guess you should explain.
Okay, so if you guys haven't seen, there was a couple of things that Marvel leaked out about Captain America that they're going to change who he is. If you've been following the story, it actually makes sense within the context of the story. And they've revealed who that is, and it's going to be Falcon. Sam Wilson.
All right.
And I, myself, am super excited. I'm extremely excited to see Sam Wilson take over Cap. It's going to be fucking awesome.
I don't know. I'm not. You know what? I'm here nor there at this point. I mean, they changed Cap again. It's like...
So is it going to be out of the Mighty Avengers, or...?
No. Apparently there's a new Avengers series coming out.
Of course there's a new Avengers series coming out.
Which they're going to revamp that one, Mighty Avengers, and now it's going to be called Captain America and the Mighty Avengers.
Look, I'm just excited that Sam Wilson's...
Yeah. No, you know what? It's well deserved. I mean, character's been developed and developed and developed over the years, and now it's good to see him...
Lose the and?
Well, not just lose the and. Hey, listen, I'll say this. Thank Anthony Mackie. Done.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I mean, Remender did a great job. But I still say thank Anthony Mackie, because he really brought the Falcon to life.
Yep.
Right? To the point where it's like everybody goes crazy, you know, when you hear the Falcon now. So, but with that being said, I would have just preferred the Falcon just go out on his own.
See, this is what I'm saying, though, is that once they're done having him as Cap, which is obviously going to happen, if you read comic books, you know this.
Yep.
He's just gonna go be his own superhero. Like, he's earned his own, time in the limelight. Like, after he becomes done being Cap, he's just gonna go be the Falcon as a main superhero, or he's gonna go tell Cap to go fuck himself and just continue being Cap.
Well, you know what? Biggest comparison, people won't realize this. Dick Grayson.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
It's basically what it is.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
Yeah, they're both board base.
Yeah.
Names, I
guess.
guess.
You know. Yeah, and it's just. They all just sat in the limelight. One became Batman, and now the other one's becoming Captain America.
And then he'll become the Falcon who doesn't, the Captain America.
And this will be on.
It'll be the Falcon and Captain America.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? My biggest problem now is... For me, I wonder why it is they want to make these changes now.
I think it's completely because of the movie universe. All of these changes feel like all of the contracts are drying up with all of the main actors.
Mm-hmm.
Time to get people used to some new faces.
I think, yeah.
I wouldn't be
that's
surprised Captain America and Ford, Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I wouldn't be surprised with Lady Thor.
There's a Lady Thor going forward.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman.
I wouldn't watch that movie.
I wouldn't.
No, I guess she's just Thor. Like this. If Thor loses the hammer, does he lose his name?
What was it? Max was saying that it was gonna be Jane.
Jane.
Yeah, we read somewhere that it was. We heard it was gonna be Jane Foster.
I hope it's Valkyrie.
That would be a great choice.
Yeah, I think it would fit into the story.
You know what? Two parts of it that I really like about it. I don't know if this is the way that it's supposed to go. because I see a change in the atmosphere now between what Marvel is doing and what DC is doing, and you could see it starting to change a little bit. I'm not particularly excited with the new changes Marvel is doing. I don't know why. It's not excitable. And I just don't understand why. Like, I can't pinpoint it, but it's like, okay, Falcon is Cap, no problem.
Oh, I've learned Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a bad writer, but
Yeah.
he's the one who started the trend of, hey, let's have all of this crossover,
Yeah.
and then all of these consequences, and then you just slowly phase them out,
Yeah.
and then you bring them all back together, and
Yeah.
you just slowly phase them
And
out.
I think the problem for me is, and that's right, because I'm getting really tired of these books being reissued as number ones.
That's what
And that's really the most
and
frustrating
this is going to be
thing.
the third time
Yeah.
in like 4 years that this has happened.
Yeah, and it's not doing anybody any good. Everybody's gonna rush out to get the number one because it's a different story and it's excitable. But let's face it, most of these books now are approaching the 100th milestone. So believe me when I tell you, they're all gonna start changing, right, back into original numbers. I see it happening. I mean, they did it with Spider-Man,
Yeah.
right? And then now he's back at number one again. And you're just gonna start seeing it with all these other books, and I'm like, this is not what I'm just not excited for a number one. And for a collector standpoint, who collecting these books, I'm like, there is no value from. Look, let's take for example this Captain America, the Remender run.
Mm-hmm.
They're now stopping that, right? It's now all new Captain America. No problem, right?
Question is Miranda still writing it?
Yeah, I
I
believe
think so. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But my problem now is that all these books are reverting to a new number one, and where is the collector value for 1 through 25?
I honestly feel like maybe they should start splitting this up in volumes, like how they do it in the trade paperbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Just have the running number, then just have volumes, so you know, like, okay, this volume is this story, or
Yeah.
that volume is that story, or,
Yeah.
because it's getting ridiculous now.
It's just getting, and because at least for me, you know who does this good well? Dynamite does it for a lot of them. They call it seasons,
yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you tell me this is a season, as you said, it's a volume,
yeah,
then I'll be like, okay, so that means this is a ongoing story arc with an overarching theme. It's going to end at some point. I don't know when, but at least I'm excited to read it. I want to know what's going on. If you're going to start doing that, treat it like a season on television.
exactly.
Right?
Like, we can't have people going in and being like,
Yeah.
see, number one's on in print anymore.
Yeah.
Before number one was the birth of a character.
Exactly.
Spider-Man number one, that was it. That was the only Spider-Man number one
Yeah.
because there was only one Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
that's where he was born.
Yeah.
But now number ones are just like, we feel like making a couple of extra dollars. Number one on that shit.
Yeah. And there's no particular value to it.
I mean,
Right?
like, Marvel Now, the first
Yeah.
one started 3 years ago.
Right?
How many number ones did we pick up 3 years ago? Only to pick up another number one of that same story,
Right.
of that same character, same story, continuation.
Right.
Like, I have like 3 under my belt.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have 2 Deadpool number ones, and there was like almost no break in the story.
We've
What's
gone
the second
through
Deadpool number one?
the Daniel Way one.
No, was it the
it was the
volume
14.
4?
Yeah,
No,
it was Deadpool number 14. Was
Yeah,
reissued
that's
Deadpool
right.
number 1.
Yeah.
And they made a joke about that being
Yeah.
like volume 4.
Yeah.
That's funny, but it's annoying.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, I would say we can kind of finish up this and then move on to the
Yeah.
next thing because we're kind of running out of time here.
Okay.
And so, yeah. Overall, I think that him being the Falcon is pretty cool, but I do agree that they shouldn't do another number one.
Yeah.
No, just make it
do
whatever
it
the
as a
next
season.
number, or change the title.
Yeah.
And don't just add all new, just change the title completely.
Yeah. And just to take the example, I just put in an order for Bionic Woman, and for any given reason, we don't talk about Bionic Woman, but I do love the idea of it being a season, because at least I know it's so many issues, and you're now looking at so many issues, whether it's 24, 25, or whatever. I know it's a self-contained story, right? But they're not doing this. I don't know how long it's gonna last. But we all know Steve Rogers is coming back.
Yeah.
They're just not, you know what I mean? So there is no excitement. There's only one Captain America at the end of the day, and it's the one we grew up with.
Yeah.
Right?
I just think it'll be an interesting detour.
Yeah. It will be that. Right.
See, what I'm saying is that, like, I don't expect this to last forever. I just expect
it to last 2 years.
I don't expect it to last a year. I just expect it to be fun.
And I hope at least it will be that, because
it's Remender. Remender's run of Captain America has been fantastic. So just add another thing like this to it, it's gonna be great.
Well, I hope. I really, really hope, because that's the only thing that's going for it, that it will be fun. All the other stuff is, we're like, oh god, here we go.
And it's mostly because we know that it's just not going to last.
Yeah, like
we know.
I accepted it. I just want it to be good.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
You just hope that it's good. But it's Sam Wilson, who we're big fans of. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, and I think the next thing I want to talk about was Guardians. Like, we're running. This is filmed before the Guardians
It will definitely not be out before
I'll try to get one part out this week, but we're filming it on the Sunday before Guardians, so
so that's 5 more days till Guardians.
5 more days, yeah.
And we've all tried to pin down a time to go see it on Friday, because we're all excited.
Are you guys going late to see it?
I wanted to go early. I was like, I'm not going to school on Friday.
Really?
Yeah. Guardians. I'm watching twice though.
I'll go with you guys if you're going.
I gotta go later on in the evening. That's something we can talk about later.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
So, the general hype for this movie, for me, it's through the roof. Like, I've just been in my mind hooked on a feeling with the extended base. It's been going on in my head for like the past 3 weeks.
Let's do this way. For a bunch of characters that the comic universe or the Marvel comic universe will know about, and everyone else has no clue, they've done a wonderful marketing job.
I think this will be the deciding factor if Marvel just completely sweeps this superhero genre movie thing, because before they'll be investing, both companies, DC and Marvel, have been investing on, known characters, Everyone knew who Iron Man was. They may have not known too much, but they knew he was a Marvel character.
Yeah.
Cap, Thor, Hulk, those were safe bets.
Yeah.
And then, we have, I guess Superman's the only one on DC side right now, unless you want to count Green Lantern, which I don't think even DC wants to count. But this is the who?
Yeah.
Who?
This is...
Who's Star-Lord? Gamora? Rocket Raccoon?
Yeah.
So if they're able to sell this to the masses, I think this is just Marvel wins clean.
And I think they will.
It's just a no contest at this point.
I've never seen people excited for something they don't know about. Yeah. And the marketing machine that they pulled off, it's the best I've ever seen.
You know what I think the best thing about this marketing campaign was? That they used keywords like Star Wars plus Firefly equals Guardians. I've heard that said many times by people who don't know what Guardians is.
And what do I always say? Give me an angry animal with a gun, right? And a vocal ability, you have a movie right there. That's it.
Yeah.
And make his voice Bradley Cooper. And you're
Bradley
done.
Cooper. Yeah.
When everyone's like, "Oh, Vin Diesel's in the movie," I'm like, "Please don't get excited for Vin Diesel."
Yeah. Unless you like this role in the
Here
Iron
is-
Giant.
I was privy to this conversation, and I said, "You guys have no idea what you're talking about." They said, and don't get me wrong, there are Vin Diesel fans out there.
Yeah,
we know one.
To each his own. But what I'm saying is that Vin Diesel's fans is a very small percentage of the Marvel Universe fans.
No, I'm
Right.
saying.
I honestly think Batista's going to bring in more people than Vin Diesel.
But someone was talking to me like, "Oh, Vin Diesel in his new associate." I'm like, I just went, "Please don't get excited for just Vin Diesel." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, he says 3 words multiple times through the entire film. He's like, "What?" I'm like, all he can say is, "I am Groot." And he gave me this look. I'm like, look, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Go see the movie. Please don't let me deflate your hype. But I didn't want you to get mad at the film because Vin Diesel says 3 words.
And the only reason why you're actually... This is the best you'll get out of Vin Diesel.
Well, Iron Giant. He's the greatest.
Even less lines in the
Yeah,
Iron
that's-
He's the greatest Superman we ever got.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's Groot. Take it for what it is. He got a character in a Marvel movie, which is probably what they're all pining for. And a lot of them cannot get.
This is the easiest paycheck he's ever gonna make.
Exactly. Right? And his acting range in this would be spectacular. Sarcastically speaking. Right? Right. But at the end of the day, it's not about him. It's really about those characters that you had. No one has a clue. I mean, we read Guardians, but we read Guardians not when this new one that came out. We're talking about Guardians when they formed after Annihilation.
Yeah, Annihilation.
Right? And
yeah, I had to pick up that later.
that's right. The Abnett and Lanning run, which was excellent. Right? And that's when you knew about Guardians. So it was a big risk for a book that, in the Marvel circles, sold very well and was very popular. However, the rest of us, people barely even knew. And the only reason why they started talking about Guardians, at least some of the other people, were because this new series that came out. But really, Guardians have been around. And even before that, because when you're talking about Vince Astro, Charlie 27, Yondu, all these other characters, they were the first, they were the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which no one knows about.
Yeah.
Right? And
I only know Vance Astro.
Yeah, Vance Astro. Yeah, and that's the thing. So, there was a team previously, but this team surpasses what this previous team did. So
because the other team was just like horrible ideas.
Yeah, it was. It was just a bunch of guys thrown together from the future.
Yeah, that was I can't tell Marvel my idea.
Yeah.
Because I want to bring that idea to Image.
Yeah.
So I'll just give them this other crap that I just made up on the spot. Like whatever.
And that's what it was. But back to this, it's gonna be an amazing movie.
Yep. I'm super excited. It's gonna be fucking great.
Yeah.
I just liked how the trailers. There's so many trailers, but we still know barely anything about the plot of this movie. They've been focusing on the characters, which that's what they're trying to sell right there.
It took until like the 5th trailer to finally hear Bradley Cooper say anything.
Well, not only that, here's the best thing. We talked about this months ago, right? And we said we did. This was when we talked about Captain America, which was Marvel is slowly making their trailers an art form, right? Because they're at the point now where it's like you're looking at these trailers and like, holy shit, right? Captain America, the first trailer that came out, like, whoa.
We watched that like 5 times.
More like 500 times.
No, like the first time it came out, we watched it 5 times in succession.
Yeah. And you're like, wow. But even the other ones, the Avengers trailers were always really good.
I love Thor 2. I thought that was fantastic.
But the Captain America one just blew all the others out of the water, right?
Yeah.
And you knew from there, you're like, holy smokes, this is going to be a special movie. right? And Guardians now, they're doing the same formula, which is will give you spots, we're not giving you too much, right? And boy, oh boy. And so, I mean, for us, we're like, wow, okay, there's Rocket, there's Groot, there's Star-Lord, you know, and Gamora and all these guys, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, but we have no idea what this movie is. So, you know, kudos on what Marvel did and Marvel Studios for making these characters interesting for months before it actually came out. Right? So,
Alright.
yeah.
And just to end off my video, I think we're going to do a new thing where we do the recommendations for each individual person at the end of their video so that the last video doesn't just end up being like 40 minutes.
Right.
So we'll try to divvy it up.
Okay.
And my recommendation? New Superman, Geoff Johns. I actually read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now reading DC, guys, so you can stop yelling at me.
Damn.
And it's great. It's fantastic. It's a Johns book with Ramita doing the art. It's both of those things. Because you can see on the thing, the title, yeah. No, it's fantastic. It's more akin to, I would say, when he found that Krypton city in a bottle, where it's more going into his loneliness and how, like, he doesn't have anyone to really relate to, and so.
What about Wonder Woman?
Oh, they actually addressed that.
Oh shit. I made a joke, but you know, I guess Johns was on top of that.
Yeah, she's having family problems, and he was like, "All right, Diane, I'm sorry."
Well,
it's funny as shit. But yeah, you know, it's super good. If you have a chance, read it. It's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
It's worth the $3. I thought it was $4 for a second.
Yeah. So what the fuck? I paid $4.
Yeah, no, that would have been what happened if that fucking.
Yeah,
oh,
the new one is out.
So
We'll get to more. But honestly, I read the second one, and I have to admit, it was a lot better than I expected. You know, it's great. What I'm learning with the comics is that not everything is going to be impactful right off the bat. So I thought this was a little bit slow for me, but the second one, wow.
Well, yeah, because it was building up. What's his name? Ulysses, yeah. Yeah, it was building up Ulysses.
Yeah,
I like that.
It was a lot better, and that's scary.
And my favorite part of the first book was Superman is just sad. He calls everyone, no one will answer, no one's home. So he just goes to the stove, uses his heat vision to cook up some fucking grits. The most flagrant abuse of his power, just to cook grits. He's like, not as good as Mom made, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty dumb. I like it. And the second thing I have to recommend, Dark Souls 2. I got Dark Souls 2 on the 15th, and I shouldn't buy any Souls games ever again. They just eat my life.
Wow.
I love the Souls games. I'm a big Demon Souls, Dark Souls, that new Bloodborne that should have been Blood Souls.
Blood Souls.
Born Souls. No, they all look. They are some of my favorite games. That it's not as good as number one. I have my problems with that, just as I have my problems with number one. But that is a fucking fantastic game. It's fun. Like, I'm having so much fun just beating bosses. I've made the stupidest class, and it's finally starting to work. Like, at level 68, everything's starting to come together. And it's fantastic. And I would recommend playing that game, especially if you like a challenge when you're playing video games. Those games will give you a challenge at the beginning, and then you'll get good, and then the game just becomes how good you are. If you fuck up, then you're done. Like, that's it. But you just have to get good. Best thing about that game. You like those games, so what would you say about Dark Souls in general?
Well, I pretty much am done with the Soul series myself, because once you experience 1.5 of those games, I feel like you experienced all of them. So I guess that's going against your recommendation. But yeah, I one of the selling points is that it isn't affected by modern game design. Like, they don't just hold your hand and here's your waypoint, here's your regenerating health. Enemies are stupid as fuck. Like, you know, it is a actual challenge.
Yeah, I was asking because you're the game guy, so your opinion would be good. Yeah, and it's one of the few video games I've, taken my time to actually go play. And those are my recommendations. And I think next we're gonna We're gonna do. Oh, we didn't pick who's going next. Oh, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're supposed to compare notes.
Yeah.
And we didn't at all, actually.
Oh, well, we'll do it now.
There you go.
All right, guys. So we'll see you next video.